A pleasant hello from Soccer County tonight, where we kick off a busy weekend of League One action with a standalone match. It is Westchester and Portland for the first time in league play this year. Alongside the former League One standout Ricky Lopez-Espin, Sam Goldfarb here, and Ricky, a major bounce back last weekend for the Golden Apple.
Yeah, really good result for this Westchester side against an experienced Greenville side. They scored goals in different ways, whether it is 1v1, whether it is balls being whipped in from dangerous areas in the wide channels, or whether it is from 12 yards out. Most importantly for this Westchester side, they saw the ball hit the back of the net, which is going to give them confidence. On the other side, they had the ability to get a clean sheet, so a little bit of momentum starting to grow for Westchester. Expect them to be on the front foot against this Portland side.
A first victory and clean sheet in league play for Westchester since April 8th, and a big part of the reason for that win was Miguel Diaz.
Miguel Diaz, he can play centrally, he can play wide, and he creates separation when he does go 1v1 at his individual defender. Getting him involved early and often is going to be really important for the success of Westchester, especially when they get higher up the field.
On the opposite end of things, an uncharacteristically rough patch for Portland. Just one win in the last 5 here.
A little bit of frustration for Bobby Murphy, and we had the ability to speak with him, and he said, look, we need to be better in both boxes. Attacking, we need to be a little bit more ruthless at taking our chances and being more clinical, and defensive, it's been too naive at losing our individual actions, especially here on the road. The first 10 to 15 minutes defensively is going to give them a foundation to attack this game.
Their standout, as always, though, is Ollie Wright. He's somebody who paces them in goals and assists.
Ollie Wright can do a little bit of everything, whether it is combination, whether it is finding that final product, and he's the type of player that brings you to the edge of your seat when he does get on the ball. Look for him to put pressure on Westchester. He needs to be really good if they want to steal points here on the road.
He is the dynamo going forward for the Hearts. Just about ready for kickoff as a pair of Northeastern sides look to climb towards the playoff line. Westchester and Portland lineups in kickoff when we return next.
Eligible for Medicare? Here's a great new reason to be happy. You may qualify for money-saving programs that could lower your Medicare costs. Just talk to a Health First specialist about programs like Extra Help, Epic, and more. To learn how New Yorkers like you can save, call 1-844-434-6399. Health First Medicare Advantage Plans, where healthy starts.
Come on, get happy.
Raising health means elevating the care that we can get in our backyard. The Westchester Soccer Club is part of the United Soccer League that has now expanded into Westchester.
It's a brand new USL One team competing all across the country, bringing the love for the sport of soccer to the area.
Northwell is going to provide them the best care possible, going to the games, making sure that we're on site for each home game. If an injury pops up, we get those players in immediately.
The partnership between the Westchester Soccer Club and Northwell Health is very exciting.
Northwell's vision is to raise health, so we offer the full gamut of orthopedic services, serving the community in Westchester. That's where my family lives, that's where I live, and that's my purpose here.
And we welcome you back to Westchester County, where we are just about set for kickoff in this Northeastern tussle between Westchester Soccer Club and Portland Hearts of Pine. It's now time to get a look at tonight's starting lineups, which are presented by RXR Realty, Westchester Soccer Club's first choice for housing solutions.
A little bit of a different look here for Westchester. You look at that front four. There's going to be a fluidity with Noah Powder coming in. He can play centrally. He can push a little bit higher. Evans can also spearhead the attack. He might drop deeper and have the ability to go and search again the game. And Jimenez, his decision-making needs to be a little bit cleaner in that final third. He can play left. He can play right. So expect a lot of rotation to put pressure on Portland Hearts of Pine within that attacking
in
4
position,
players.
in possession also. This may look like a 3. On the other end of things for Portland, they make a few alterations from Saturday's defeat.
Quinn Andron comes in, he's going to sit right next to Mateo Kidd, so they need to do a really good job at understanding when to press, when to drop, and just keep the game in front of them. Gonzalez, he's a really good addition to this Portland Hearts of Pine side. He can find that final ball, which will allow that front 3 to be expansive and to be transitional to put pressure on Westchester's back line.
You mentioned Diego Gonzalez. That's his 2nd consecutive start since joining on loan from Houston Dynamo Dos, and he announced himself with the equalizer last week in that defeat against Chattanooga. So just about ready to get everything underway. Portland in their away kits that are an homage to the Main Lighthouse. They call it the Main Lighthouse kit. They're opposite numbers in Westchester in their classic home strips. It's the 2nd meeting in all comps this year, the 1st in league play, as these 2 regional foes lock horns with a key 3 points up for grabs. Well, for Westchester, George Jokai has emphasized the importance of tactical astuteness. Last week they showed it, a 4-0 victory, a first clean sheet in over 2 months. They take on a Portland side who's looking for that at the moment as well. A team that's only won 1 of their last 5 league matches, 3 consecutive defeats in all comps in which they've conceded 10 goals. Bobby Murphy has emphasized the need to clean that up. Just about ready for kickoff on a beautiful night in Westchester. It is Portland from right to left, Westchester from left to right. And we await our referee signal, and now we are underway. Partner, this should be an interesting one with a key 3 points up for grabs.
Yeah, really big opportunity for both of these sides. Westchester coming off that emphatic win against Greenville Triumph here on this very field. And for Portland, you need a reaction. So for Bobby Murphy, challenging these players to show a little bit of personality.
Mentioned how last week was extremely frustrating. He said margins in this league are so fine, so narrow, and we managed to battle back from a match in which things started about as poorly as they could have. Conceded 2 minutes in after the Hunter Morse own goal on the long-range strike from Omar Hernandez. They were able to pull one back, but ultimately falling at the death, conceding a needless free kick and paying the price. And Portland opens on the front foot here. That's Jones Riley, who plays it out wide. It's a cross that's knotted away by Max Jennings. Good to see Jaden Jones-Riley back out there. Missed all of last season, or the bulk of it, with a torn ACL as he worked his way back, battled patella and kneecap issues as well, but now finally back and ready to start.
You just look at the 2 outside backs here for Portland, really aggressive within their positioning, but also really good quality at serving the ball into dangerous areas.
Here's someone who can do a little bit of everything in Ollie Wright. It's an underlap from Drack, who cuts it in, and it's pinged over, but promising start for Portland.
Love the patience from this near side. Ollie Wright draws in Jennings. That allows Josh Drack to make that run towards that end line to cut back. Good start for Portland.
First corner of the night presented by Ice Air. And Westchester handles it admirably, able to alleviate the pressure through Kyle Evans. It is now time for our keys to the game, presented by Health First.
And for Portland, you need to win the fine margins. Talking to Bobby Murphy, saying that this league is just so ruthless, so winning every single little detail is going to count. And for Westchester, we talk about having the momentum, so the first 15 to 20 minutes winning those duels are going to be crucial to your success.
We've spoken a little bit already about the fine margins, but you look at Portland's last 2 league matches. We're leading late at Corpus Christi, wound up falling 3-2 after conceding twice in stoppage time. And then last week, Bobby Murphy said it to us. It was an unnecessary free kick to concede. They concede at the death, and they fall 2-1 against Chattanooga.
It's a little naive is the word that he said for Portland defending, understanding every decision has a consequence on and off the ball.
Starting here well, Wright trying to thread this through to JT Kamara, who plays it in. Gonzalez, no sting in that shot, and comfortably back to Luca Marinelli. You see it on your screen now. 4th time that these 2 teams have locked horns. Westchester has failed to win the previous 3. Back-to-back draws entering the night after falling on this very ground last August by a 3-2 scoreline. A team that led 2-1 in that fixture. This season, some signs of a bounce back. currently just 6 points off playoff pace, despite a really dire run of form through the late spring and early summer. Marinelli in some trouble and navigates out of it. Evans, so clever when he touches it. Plays it out wide to Miguel Diaz. Too far for him though. It's now time for our injury report, presented by Northwell Health. And Ricky, none officially reported, but we know Portland's dealing with the injury bug a bit. No Mikey Lopez, and of course no Masashi Wada in the squad.
Especially with Masashi Wada out for this season. Gonzalez is a player that this Portland side has been yearning for, the ability to play in between lines, comfortable with the ball at his feet. And Mikey Lopez, with him not in the lineup, you lose leadership, you lose that little bit of bite. So Mateo Kidd and Punandron centrally need to do a really good job at finding the balance at dictating tempo.
Bobby Murphy mentioned to us in the 2 months between Masashi Wada's injury and the loan signing of Diego Gonzalez, he said that they felt they lacked that final ball, that touch of creativity through the center. They're now hoping that Gonzalez, a former Next Pro Best 11 selection, can provide it, as that is too long for Abubakar Kamara.
Well, it's one of, if not the hardest type of player to find that likes to operate in between lines, because you need to be so good technically and comfortable in tight areas of the field. Masashi Wada gave you so much, not only with his technique, but his movement as well, right? Making runs out of that midfield line, testing the opposition. So for Diego Gonzalez, it's an opportunity to really make that position his and start to find that form again that kind of lacked when he was with the Houston Dynamo.
Not to mention, Masashi Wada's pressing is something that you've raved about in the past as well. Finally, a chance for Westchester to alleviate pressure. And they look long, immediately broken up. And at the moment, the Golden Apple can't find their footing in this. Bauman has been converted into a makeshift center back role of late. It's a team that still is lacking a few key pieces that they could start through the middle. Now Jimenez. Noah Powder. Diaz. Dancing inside and not on the same wavelength as Jonathan Jimenez there.
And it's that change of shape that you mentioned earlier, Sam, building out. They're going to look into a 3-back Westchester. Powder's actually going to play right next to Armas. McGlynn's going to be that third in that central location a little bit higher, and that allows the 2 outside backs or your wing backs to push really high. So there is a little bit of flexibility for Westchester early on.
Bobby Murphy alluded to that when we spoke to him on the phone this week. He noticed that in possession, they changed the way they were building. Jimenez has been converted almost to a makeshift wing back. He's more known as a proper winger. Was actually named to Team of the Week in USL League One. 5 chances created over the 2 matches they played last week. A 1-1 draw with Fort Wayne, and then, of course, the aforementioned 4-0 throttling of Greenville, which would have surprised many around the league, but they were immense in the opening 45 minutes in that. Long throw potential here for Jaden Jones-Riley. Arcs it into the mix, headed along. Cleared only as far as Ollie Wright, who ultimately loses out. So far, Portland has asserted themselves in this, and I'm sure this is the start Bobby Murphy would have been hoping for after the catastrophic meltdown to begin last week, as there's a chance, and it's rolled right to the goalkeeper Marinelli, but Kamara in a dangerous spot.
We've seen Portland try to play very direct early on to put pressure on this back line of Westchester. With the movement of Kamara, you have to be extremely aware where he is at every single part of the build-out phase, because he is just so good at playing off the shoulder of the center backs.
Bauman. First touch for Connor McGlynn, who's scored in back-to-back matches entering the night. He's that metronome, and his versatility is something George Jokai raves about. There is your look at the former Westchester man, Josh Drack. Joined the club on a permanent basis in May of last year from Charleston Battery and revitalized his career over the course of last season after struggling to break into the championship 11s. Makes the move to Portland in April, and this is the first time he's facing his former club.
And he's a player that Bobby Murphy extremely happy with within his performances, but also just the type of person he is in the locker room. He's fit in extremely well to this Portland Hearts of Pine culture.
Says he's the vibes guy in the dressing room, and in a season where they've been dealt a little more adversity than they would have liked, that's been valuable. As the Golden Apple look long for Jennings, but Hunter Morris is off his line and handles his first test with aplomb. Drag. Ten minutes gone, and for those of you just joining us in Westchester County, we say hello from the stadium at Memorial Field. Sam Goldfarb alongside the former League One standout Ricky Lopez-Espin. And as things stand, Portland on the front foot. Westchester still trying to find their footing in this.
You need to get your central players a little bit more impactful. If you are George Jokai, you're looking at Armas, McGlynn, and Powder, having a difficult time understanding the areas that they can operate, dealing with this high pressure of Portland right now.
It pays dividends once more. This is Kidd. Clattered into by Noah Powder. Maybe a chance to break now for Westchester. Evans. Jimenez in plenty of space now and has options either side. Waits for reinforcements instead. Here's Diaz. Deflected cross, right back to Morse. Nearly spilled it, but at the second time of asking crowd.
You can find a little bit of success if you are Westchester breaking that initial line of pressure, because that last action, Portland was a little bit too exposed. That back line was about 20 to 30 yards behind that front line, so that allowed Jimenez to get on the half turn. But again, just the decision making needs to be a little bit cleaner for the attacking players for Westchester.
I know you were pointing to Diaz at the bottom of the fan screen.
Well, understanding when you start on one side of the field, a lot of times coaches want you to change your point of attack to go to the weak side, because that, more times often than not, leaves your attacking player in so much real estate to operate in. So if you can pick up your head and play the weak side, you can create an overload.
See if they can bring that to fruition over the course of this one. Right. Vertical ball towards Kamara. Jennings can't play out. And this is Gonzalez. Drag. Kamara. Enjoying a breakout year here in 2026. JT Kamara's cross is an inviting one. Dickerson with plenty of space to clear. Bauman. Picks up the loose change and continues forward for Westchester. Here's Kyle Evans. Out wide for Jimenez. Squares up with Jones Riley. Jimenez has a crack and not far off.
This back six of Portland really exposed there. Love the aggressiveness for Jimenez to slow himself down, set up Jones Riley, and take that separating touch to the interior. Does everything right, but just his body position a little bit off. Just wrap your right foot around it, and then you find that top corner. But good action for Westchester, starting to grow into this game.
Jimenez, someone who broke out with New York City FC 2 in MLS Next Pro. He's on loan from Hartford Athletic, where his minutes fluctuated over the course of the last year. But there's many coaches throughout the MLS and USL ranks who think very highly of him.
His coach at Hartford, Brendan Burke, to be able to speak with him once they did sign Jimenez, and said he loves the ability to guide with the ball, run at his individual defenders, and have that knack of trying to score goals. Tough challenge.
Powders left on the deck. Jones Riley. An adventurous one with JT and Abubakar Kamara either side. Here's JT Kamara. Plays it forward and in the half space, and just cleared away by Baumann.
A phenomenal run towards the end line, but if you are Kamara, the number 9, you need to recognize this and be a lot quicker at just crashing towards the top of that 6-yard box. You're far too slow to react here. That allows Westchester to clear this line.
Well, fans, enter the Prinks Tires USL Cup Game Day Kit sweepstakes for your chance to win a prize pack worth up to $2,000. Scan the QR code on screen and enter today. Another eyebrow-raising opportunity there for Portland, and this match starting to open up here on the quarter-hour mark. Evans. McGlynn. And McGlynn sprays it forward, looking for Jennings, who is onside. Cuts it in for Noah Powder, but right at Morse.
In the midfield for Portland, struggling to drop deep and just eliminate that space. Nice patience from Jennings, unable to get clean contact. There's no Powder, but good run out of that midfield.
This game of cat and mouse is starting to materialize. Portland definitely the aggressor and protagonist, but you're seeing real moments where Westchester can get at the Hearts the other way.
And a lot of times, Sam, when you talk about a team that's high pressing, that wants to make the opposition uncomfortable, the most important thing is you have to do it together. Because the last thing you want for any coaches for this game to open up and just leave your back four in really bad situations.
Drack. It's a dipping cross. It's right at Dickerson. Now Jones Riley. This is where the press has paid dividends for Portland. Right. What a season he had a year ago. Caught fire in the late summer and early fall and was a huge part of Portland's run to the semifinals in their inaugural season. JT Kamara, he scored in that semifinal. Right. Drack. Kamara. Right. 4 goals and 5 assists to his name in league play. The last 2 matches has been quiet, though. Punanjaran. JT Kamara. It's a curling cross, and Abubakar Kamara rather tame in the end.
It's been patient for Portland. One trying to find a way to really manipulate this back line of Westchester, but so far, 18 minutes in defensively, Westchester's done a really good job at almost trying to frustrate the visiting side here.
You brought up a good point about pressing together, and when you talk to a lot of coaches throughout the league, they mention how the lines have to be tight. They have to be in sync, so to speak. With the exception of a few moments, it does feel like Portland has been pretty organized in their press so far.
100%.
This is JT Kamara. who switches the point of attack for right. Now Drax cross, right at Bauman. Cleared only as far as Evans. Now track toward the byline. Flashed away again. Kidd. Another sustained, prolonged period of possession. Yet to truly test Luca Marinelli, though. Right. Dips inside. Ultimately, Diaz tracks back to help.
Just see how comfortable Westchester is at sitting into that back line of 5. Sitting into a really low block here. So for Portland, the tempo and the spacing becomes really important. If Ollie Wright and JT Kamara are going to provide the width, you need Diego Gonzalez to play as the second striker next to Kamara, because right now there's no options besides Abubakar Kamara for Portland to play through.
May have a makeshift set piece here. Jones Riley heading over for yet another long throw. He does arc it back in there, right at Marinelli though. Do you think too many teams fall in love with the long throw just due to the trends they've seen in world football?
Is it easy to watch? I would argue no, but I mean, as an attacking player, a former attacking player, any chance that you get to put the ball into a dangerous area, you take it. You cause chaos, right? Try to be effective. Maybe it's not the initial ball that causes issues, it's a secondary phase. So as a coach, I understand why, but maybe to a neutral, you don't like to see it.
I take it as a tall attacker, you enjoy the long throw. 20 minutes down, and we still have yet to see either goalkeeper truly be put in a spot of bother. Well, fans, Westchester Soccer Club is excited to partner with Redefine Meals, our go-to destination for fresh, healthy, prepared meals. Scan the QR code on the screen for a free meal at Redefine Meals in Hartsdale. Portland has eaten up the share of possession so far. Still have yet to flash that touch of incision required. Punenjaran. You see those numbers on your screen. 2/3 of the ball for Portland. That seems indicative of what we've watched. JT Kamara looking for Diego Gonzalez, who does get there. The cross lacked the quality required, but did take a touch out for a corner. Well, time for yet another corner kick presented by Ice Air, for keeping Westchester cool and comfortable. Josh Drack heading over to take it. Former first-round draft pick in the MLS Super Draft a few years back with LA Galaxy. In-swinger, right at Jennings. And now a chance for Diaz to go 1v1. Jones Riley tracking back, and he muscles Miguel Diaz off it. Evans.
Good challenge.
Well done by Punenjaran. Kamara. Over to JT Kamara. And now opportunities brewing the other way for Portland. Right. JT Kamara goes for goal, and it's a terrific save from Marinelli.
Fantastic intent from JT Kamara. First, it comes with the hard work from Punenjaran just to turn this defense into offense and just pick the pocket of Evans here. And then to have the vision to change a point of attack, but just notice as JT Kamara picks up this ball, he drives at this back line and he does it at pace, and that allows them to retreat. Plays it to Ollie Wright, and he continues his run. That is a phenomenal look from Mark Cruz, trying to bend it towards that far post. Fantastic save from Marinelli to push it wide, but good effort from JT Kamara.
Now the ensuing in-swinger. Marinelli has trouble with it. Gets it away for now. Tell you what, it looked like that was bending in top bins.
Yeah, phenomenal strike. Great technique from JT Kamara.
As someone who's always had the ability to play effectively at this level, Bobby Murphy last year said he needed to improve his decision-making in the final third. It seemed like he did towards the end of last season. Big moment in the semifinal to give Portland the lead in extra time against Spokane. And this year has continued on, a trio of goals and assists, and starting to see the potential of what he can become as a footballer.
It looked really similar to what Ollie Wright looked like in the beginning of the year as well.
Now
Watch out.
McGlynn tries with the goalkeeper off his line. Morse gets back.
Yeah, the quality is there. It's clear as day. Every single time they get on the ball, very creative, like to go 1v1. But as you progress in your career, it all comes down to tempo and decision making, understanding when to go 1v1, when to try to pull out the tricks, or when to pull in and play a teammate. That is when you see the best attackers start to flourish. But once they can start to find those right decisions on a consistent basis, this attacking talent for Portland Hearts of Pine, really scary.
Well, fans, don't miss your chance to be part of the action when Westchester hosts Boise at 7 p.m. on Sunday, July 5th. Tickets are on sale now. A jam-packed stretch of football in Westchester County continues. We're in the midst of a 3-match and 9-day span in league play for Westchester at home. And George Jokai, before that stretch, said he felt like this was going to be one of the most important stretches of the season. If they could string together results, they could put themselves back in the chase. Evans has helped Westchester secure results in 2 of those 3 so far. Armas. Jimenez. Linking with Diaz. Left it loose, and now numbers for Portland potentially. JT Kamara pinging it ahead. Was looking for right, but too tight on Marinelli. Now Armas looks the other way. Jimenez is onside. Darting at Jones Riley and forcing a quality save on Morse. First stop of the game for him.
The recognition of space here from Jimenez, really well done. Jones Riley almost jogging to cut down this space. Just notice the amount of turf that Jimenez can run into. Sees the space, takes the space, and hits it well. Give credit to Hunter Morris. The angle and the positioning from the goalkeeper and the reaction, flawless.
It's Westchester's first corner of the night, and that will be presented by Ice Air as well. As always, Ice Air is keeping Westchester cool and comfortable, and that man making a menace of himself in the early going. Jones Riley is still slow to return to his feet, it seems. In-swinger from Powder, tight on the goalkeeper, and headed in! Westchester strikes first, and the golden apple against the grain in front. It's McGlynn who's celebrating, and it's Westchester who leads 1-0.
Set pieces are a phenomenal way to kickstart your attacking phase of play when you're not creating through the run of play. Great ball in. Right on top of that 6-yard box, and it is Connor McGlynn. And as he gets on the end of it, this is just pure strength to fend off his individual marker. Hunter Morse can't come off of his line quick enough with the amount of pace and venom on this ball. And a simply redirection of a header from Connor McGlynn to give him and Westchester the lead.
It is a captain's goal for Connor McGlynn, and it is a 3rd consecutive league match with a goal for Connor McGlynn. The captain has shown up for a stretch that Westchester knew was crucial to revitalizing their playoff push, and he has shown up. A 7th goal of the year. That stands him alone in 2nd in the league in goals. And he's done it in every way, shape, or form, from the penalty spot, a bicycle kick we saw last week, and then there from a corner just using his height to his advantage.
Especially when you play at home, you have to pick up maximum points, and in doing that, you need your big-time players to be leaders. Connor McGlynn has done that in the last couple games here for Westchester, and yet again against Portland Hearts of Pine.
A 1-0 advantage for Westchester. It's the second time McGlynn has actually scored against Portland this season, because he converted a penalty against the Hearts in that Prinks Cup opener on April 25th. Now he converts the opener here. JT Kamara slips in behind for Portland now and gets to the byline, cuts it back, but it's rocketed right at Marinelli. This is shaping up to be an end-to-end thriller. Looks like that was Diego Gonzalez moments ago. Jennings. He could not keep that in play.
Again, it's going to be frustrating for Bobby Murphy to concede a goal in that manner. Through 30 minutes, by far the better side, threatening of the opposition goal. And when you concede on set pieces, that is not X and O's, that's not tactics, that's just pure willingness. We talk about the fine margins, doing the little things right. It was simply not good enough for Portland defending.
Here's Drac. Floats that forward. JT Kamara will not get there. To your point, this is the 4th time now in the last 5 league matches that Portland has fallen behind. They've shown some capability to battle back. Of course, Chattanooga last week, they found an equalizer, not to mention against Spokane, turned it around and won by a 2-1 scoreline. But that is not a recipe for winning matches consistently in this league.
No, you can't find the consistency in doing that, especially when you've been the better side to open up this match.
We showed you those numbers earlier. Westchester only had about a third of the possession for the early portions of the match, and they find themselves 1-0 in front due to sheer set-piece execution. Drac. Right. So for those that have just joined us, we welcome you to Westchester County. As things stand, 1-0 to Westchester SC. Connor McGlynn striking for the 3rd consecutive game on 27 minutes. It was off a set piece, and despite the Golden Apple being without the ball for large spells, they lead. Boubacar Kamara is looking to change that, but instead Luca Marinelli collects with relative confidence. Someone who stepped in for the injured Andrew Hammersley for the better part of the last month and a half, and he's done a wondrous job. His lack of size has given him problems at times, but other than that, has filled in very well for his former college teammate in Hammersley. There's a player down for Portland. Breck Evans gingerly back to his feet. Evans. Drac. This is Ollie Wright. It was around this time last year that he really announced himself to the USL League One world with a hat trick against Omaha. This is turned over though. There's Noah Powder, craftily by Kidd. Can't play that beyond the reach of Breck Evans though. Punan Giron. And Wright with plenty of pockets now. JT Kamara squaring up with Charlie Dickerson and drawing help from Noah Powder as well. That help does the job as well.
It's a perfect example of the decision making. Needs to be cleaner for JT Kamara. It's a 2v1. You have nowhere to go. Just keep possession, circulate the ball, and go out the other way.
JT Kamara still only 24 years of age. The stoppage gives us a chance to tell you that you can check out Proso, the new protein soda that has great taste, offers real recovery, and is an absolute game changer. Portland hoping for a game changer as things stand. 1-0 down, despite being the better of the two entities on paper. Bauman. Looks long, and Diaz won't reach that before it goes out of play. It is a pair of sides that entered this season on opposite ends of the League One spectrum. For Westchester, it was a squad in their inaugural season that spent big money to bring in established veterans, and they struggled, dropped the league record 38 points from winning positions, and ultimately finished in the cellar. Portland was the opposite in many ways. Brought in players that were maybe a little more unheralded and less proven on paper in the league. But as the season wore on, Bobby Murphy coached them into a true entity that got hot during the fall and wound up finishing in the top 8, upset Chattanooga, the 2nd seed, away from home in the quarterfinals before nearly doing the same to Spokane in the semis. Fell on pens in heartbreaking fashion in that. We were there to witness that. That was one of the most thrilling matches in League One history. Conceded the latest goal ever in League One history that forced the shootout. Ultimately, it was heartbreak, but it provided a good building block for this season now.
And also a standard set for Portland, saying we need to fix these type of areas if we want to eventually get over the hump and try to play for a trophy in USL League One. Obviously, Spokane Velocity Lee Wiedemann done a phenomenal job in going to the finals back-to-back years. And one thing that you and I love about League One is just the parity. And every single time teams walk over the white line, you don't have no idea what the result's going to be, especially when you get to postseason play when the pressure's on.
In American football, they say any given Sunday. I think in USL League One, they might say any given Saturday.
The heartbeat of American soccer, right?
It is. It's one of the most entertaining leagues in the world, in lower leagues of American football. Kamara looks wide for right. He was a big part of that semifinal run. His development last season from occasional lightning rod to true talisman was a sight to behold. He's started the season well, despite Portland's up and down campaign that sees them 3 points south of the playoff line at the moment. He has been the constant. Well, fans, turn to the CBS Sports Network on Wednesday, July 1st for USL League One showdown. Spokane Velocity FC hoping to speed past the formidable Flamingos of Forward Madison at 9 p.m. Eastern. Catch all of the action on CBS Sports Network on July 1st. Tell you what, they're putting me to work tonight. Formidable Flamingos of Forward Madison.
So you get paid the big bucks, Sam.
I've become a master of tongue twisters now, I guess. Jones Riley charging forward for Portland. JT Kamara crosses it towards Abubakar Kamara. Dickerson can't clear. Appeals for handball waved away, and now JT Kamara again. Cuts inside. Looking for goal, but too many blue shirts in the mix. Right. Breaks the lines for Kidd. Jones Riley. JT Kamara. McGlynn, the lone goal scorer thus far. Now Diaz, Wright doing his defensive duties well.
See, besides the goal, Westchester struggling to create anything in possession. It's been all one-way traffic in favor of Portland here.
They go down the right flank again through JT Kamara. Diego Gonzalez overlaps. It's an aerial cross. It's for Jennings. It's been Portland imposing themselves. Right. First time ball, right into the path of Drac. Kamara lays it off to Punancharan. They're able to smuggle it clear for now. And finally able to relieve some of that incessant pressure as Kyle Evans came off worse for wear there.
Need to slow the game down here if you are Westchester, as Green steps off of his line, comes in late. Ability to breathe, slow the game down, take this sting out of what Portland has been able to do here for 40 minutes.
I think the Portland fans are enjoying themselves.
Yeah, I didn't. Field Mike obviously working.
It's Kyle Evans who's gingerly back to his feet. Portland fans traveled great, by the way. Westchester not too far, of course, from Maine, so not surprised many have made the road trip. Kyle Evans is the young star for Westchester, 20 years of age. George Jokai repeatedly raves about him. Still looking to increase that final third tally, but he's someone who can completely change the complexion of a match when he steps on the ball. Search for Jimenez here, and Morse wins that foot race. Well, there's a Portland fan that's made the trip. They are vocal in their support of the Hearts.
Unreal kid as well. Just talk about the traveling support for Portland, but the kits, the social media, everything, A+.
It is a movement. Last season, of course, selling out the final 18 home matches of 2025, setting the then attendance record in USL League One, and then breaking their own record in late October. Beyond that as well, I think they've sold out every home match for 2026 already. It is remarkable what they've been able to build in Portland at Fitzpatrick Stadium. Here's Kidd marauding forward for the Hearts and gives it away to Dickerson. Evans searching for the run of Jennings. Nearly given away there, and now it is. Jimenez. McGlynn. Into the final 5 minutes of this first half. Westchester still clinging to a 1-0 advantage courtesy of Connor McGlynn's 27th minute set piece header. That is despite Portland bossing close to 70% of the ball at times in this half. Now Westchester starting to show some signs of life the other way. Jones-Riley tracks step for step with Diaz. Well, Fan Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the grassroots to the pros, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select, the player's choice.
Jones-Riley got confused with the lines. What was in bounds and out of bounds. Really casual as he just lets the ball roll over the yellow line, which is what we're playing here.
Caught home pitch advantage for a reason, don't they? That is Alexi Armas. He throws in the long throw himself. It's towards McGlynn. That time the set piece defended much better by Portland. Jennings. Evans turns into space, knocks it along to Diaz, who lays it off to Jonathan Jimenez. Clever block there from Jones-Riley. Still with Jimenez, though. Shoved down on the edge of the area. The referee says it's won cleanly. JT Kamara, 24-year-old former Sierra Leone Youth International. Right. Drac charging at his former teammates and losing out. Armas. This is Powder. His first start since returning from international duty with Trinidad and Tobago. Diaz. Jimenez, it's been a lively first half for him. Final minute of this initial 45. McGlynn. Bauman. It's a first-time ball towards Noah Powder, which falls to Alexei Armas. This is the longest spell of possession we've seen from Westchester tonight. Jennings. Our stoppage time is presented by Mar & Mar, and just a minute separates us from intermission. Armas. Jennings. Draws multiple defenders and goes down in the area, and the referee points to the spot. No hesitation, and a chance for Westchester to double the advantage.
Just so good here from Jennings to pick up his head and see no one in the attacking box. So that's when you drop your head and just go at Josh Drac. Drop with his shoulder, brilliant touch, and it's a clear pen. Just simply no touch on the ball here from Josh Drac, unable to move his feet, gets all of the player. 12 yards out we go, and an opportunity for Westchester to double their lead right before halftime. Good work from the outside back.
Surprise, surprise, Connor McGlynn stares down the goalkeeper Hunter Morse from 12 yards. Has buried all of his previous 3 league penalty attempts. He is so composed in scenarios like these. Converted last week in stoppage time to make it 3-0 against Greenville. Now a chance to make it 2-0 to the Golden Apple just before intermission. So McGlynn against Morse. He converted against Portland in the Prinks Tires Cup opener in late April. Stutter step and a finish. It's a first half brace for Connor McGlynn, and it's Westchester 2-0 to the good.
Not the best 1v1 defending from Josh Drac. You have to continue to move your feet, and if you do make a play on the ball, you need to be sure you're gonna get contact. Lunges in, takes down Jennings, 12 yards out. Connor McGlynn automatic. A little bit of a stutter step. Morse guesses the right way, but the placement is to perfection. A lot of pace behind that ball, and really well done to get his brace and to give Westchester a little bit of breathing room right before you go into the locker room.
8 league goals for Connor McGlynn. He's doubled his tally from a season ago already, and 2 in the first half as he powers Westchester multiple goals in front, despite an opening 45 minutes in which they sat back for large spells.
Again, it goes back to what we talked about for this Portland side. The minute details, the fine margins of this league. A lot of the ball that you've seen has been dictating tempo, but you haven't had the ability to be ruthless, to be clinical. 2 opportunities going back the other way. You see the face on Bobby Murphy.
Bobby Murphy's side have been stunned in the first half. Westchester leads 2-0. A strong performance from the Golden Apple on the break, despite having to weather large spells without the ball. And that is our score at halftime. That man, the difference maker, Connor McGlynn's brace, has Westchester multiple goals in front. A first half that maybe didn't go the way according to Westchester analytically, but in terms of the scoreline, it is all swimming for the Golden Apple. We'll step aside here from Westchester County when we return. A look around USL League One.
At Redefined Meals, we're not just making prepared meals. We're redefining them and raising the bar for what they can be.
Every dish begins with real ingredients, crafted fresh each day, redefining what real cooking means for busy lives.
Discover over 70 chef-crafted meals, freshly made, thoughtfully balanced, and surprisingly affordable.
Good food shouldn't slow you down. It should keep you going. No prep, no stress.
Redefine the way you dine.
Eligible for Medicare? Here's a great new reason to be happy. You may qualify for money-saving programs that could lower your Medicare costs. Just talk to a Health First specialist about programs like Extra Help, Epic, and more. To learn how New Yorkers like you can save, call 1-844-434-6399. Health First Medicare Advantage Plans, where healthy starts.
Come on, get happy.
Raising health means elevating the care that we can get in our backyard. The Westchester Soccer Club is part of the United Soccer League that has now expanded into Westchester.
It's a brand new USL One team competing all across the country, bringing the love for the sport of soccer to the area.
Northwell is going to provide them the best care possible, going to the games, making sure that we're on site for each home game. If an injury pops up, we get those players in immediately.
The partnership between the Westchester Soccer Club and Northwell Health is very exciting.
Northwell's vision is to raise health, so we offer the full gamut of orthopedic services, serving the community in Westchester. That's where my family lives, that's where I live, and that's my purpose here.
Welcome back to the stadium at Memorial Field, where at halftime, the Golden Apple hold a comfortable 2-0 advantage over Portland Hearts of Pine. A Connor McGlynn brace is what makes the difference. It's now time to get a look around USL League One. Dan Lucas has more information.
It is halftime in League One. We'll get back out to the second half in just a bit. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio with some of the headlines from the week. Charlotte Independence continued its hot streak last weekend with a 4-3 win over FC Naples. That's 7 League One victories in a row, 10 straight unbeaten in all competitions. Golden Boot leader Luis Alvarez has led the charge with 8 goals and 2 assists during that stretch. AV Alta heating up as well with its 1-0 victory over Spokane Velocity. The club is now unbeaten in 7 straight League One matches with just 2 goals allowed in its last 6 games. Last week, Sarasota Paradise acquired League One living legend Emiliano Terzaghi, and he contributed immediately with a goal in Sarasota's 2-0 win over Union Omaha. From 2020 to 22, Terzaghi made his name with 3 consecutive League One Player of the Year awards, the Golden Boot in each of those seasons, and a Players' Shield with Richmond Kickers. He now owns 63 regular season goals in his League One career. Upcoming national spotlight games in the Championship and League One. Wednesday the 24th, Colorado Springs and San Antonio on ESPN2. July 1st, Spokane and Forward Madison on CBS Sports Network. And the next day, AC Boise and 1 Knoxville on ESPN2. This is the USL Halftime Update. Let's get you back out to your match.
I think Idahoans have been clamoring for something that is theirs.
Feel a big sense of responsibility to do this right. You only get one first season.
For me, without soccer, it's like there's no air. Having it here, I feel like I can breathe again. Boise's never had anything like this.
Before the World Cup can begin, 48 national teams need a home. And home is a lot more than a practice field.
They wanted a beautiful grass field and in a sort of secure facility with great access to gyms and all the other pieces around.
Dan Rutstein had the honor of handing the keys to Orange County SC's entire facility to the U.S. men's national team. Why does it matter to you to have the U.S. national team at your facility?
Look, if you can't get excited about a World Cup, then we shouldn't be in this business. It's obviously an enormous opportunity. We're happy for them, it's a great facility. We're happy for us, we're happy for our fans, so we can be talked about in the same breath as the home nation in a home World Cup.
Orange County is joined by the Oakland Roots, who will host the Australian national team, and the Tampa Bay Rowdies hosting first-time World Cup team Cape Verde. When clubs spend multiple weeks in one building, the facility must accommodate an entire support system, not just the players. In a large country like the United States, travel can take a toll. Cape Verde's Tampa home sets up short flights to Atlanta, Miami, and Houston for its group matches. Australia will play matches in Vancouver, Seattle, and nearby Santa Clara. The U.S. team's longest journey is Seattle, sandwiched between two group matches in Los Angeles. But as the World Cup takes place, it's business as usual for the USL Championship. For Orange County, a worthwhile temporary adjustment.
We're still training next door. The short-term pain of being not allowed to use our stadium for the medium and long-term gain of working with the US national team, we could never say no to an opportunity like that.
Alexandra! Spokane opens the scoring. Carmichael volleys, it scores! And it's 3-1 forward Madison.
Now and then, you need to stop and smell the roses. Or the leaves, rocks, trees, sticks, and that one tree again. This summer, get 1,000 bonus points and a chance to win 250,000 bonus points.
¡Espectacular! ¡Hay mucha fiesta, señor Martino! ¡Hay sed de revancha, doctor! ¡Pero falta gol! ¡Estamos a esperar a Hugo! ¿Hugo Sánchez? Sí, tira para adelante. ¿Quién maneja? ¿Un futbolista? ¡Llegamos por fin! ¡Ay, bendito sea el chaparro, doctor! Hugo, ¿regreso a las canchas? ¿Algún consejo?
Sí, confía y cree en ti.
¡Ey! ¡Vas al norte!
A donde me dé la oportunidad, pero listo para dar el paso.
¡Listo, vamos!
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Welcome back to Westchester County, where at halftime, the Westchester fans are thrilled with the scoreline. The Golden Apple lead Portland Hearts of Pine 2-0. It's now time to continue our look around USL League One with our upcoming schedule for a jam-packed weekend in Week 16. And the one that jumps out when you look initially is Spokane hosting Knoxville tomorrow at 9.
Yeah, going back to last year's final where one Knox took the trophy. Lee Wiedemann playing here at home. That'll be a different look now forward. Madison welcoming New York Cosmos. You look at the kickers. Brian Ownby, the intern manager, will be hosting Fort Wayne.
Life moves quickly in USL Pyramid. You're playing in the USL, and then magically you're a League One coach about a year and a half later. That is your look at the upcoming schedule in USL League One. Well, at halftime here, there's still 45 minutes left to play, but the Golden Apple in a positive spot. They lead 2-0 at intermission. When we return, a look back at how we got here in Westchester.
At Redefined Meals, we're not just making prepared meals. We're redefining them and raising the bar for what they can be.
Every dish begins with real ingredients, crafted fresh each day, redefining what real cooking means for busy lives.
Discover over 70 chef-crafted meals, freshly made, thoughtfully balanced, and surprisingly affordable.
Good food shouldn't slow you down. It should keep you going. No prep, no stress.
Redefine the way you dine.
Eligible for Medicare? Here's a great new reason to be happy. You may qualify for money-saving programs that could lower your Medicare costs. Just talk to a Health First specialist about programs like Extra Help, Epic, and more. To learn how New Yorkers like you can save, call 1-844-434-6399. Health First Medicare Advantage Plans, where healthy starts.
Come on, get happy.
300. That's about how many events the Community Police Relations Foundation has done in just the last year.
Tens of thousands of positive interactions between law enforcement and the communities they serve. We exist to break down barriers, to humanize the badge, to foster trust, understanding, and lasting relationships. It's changing how communities see the uniform every single day. Together, we can redefine the story and turn 300 moments of connection into tomorrow's 3,000.
Back here in Westchester, where the fans are enjoying the action they've seen so far. The hometown Westchester SC leads Portland by a 2-0 scoreline. And now it's time to get a look back at our first half highlights. The match dominated by Portland, but Westchester were the only goals.
Yeah, for Portland, a lot of the ball, a lot of the attacking opportunities, but unable to be clinical and put more pressure on the goalkeeper. Kamara doing a really good job at playing in between both center backs. You looked at Gonzalez, he was really active. JT Kamara putting some pressure. That's phenomenal save from Marinelli to push this ball wide of that top corner, because that is a really well struck ball from JT Kamara. And then Westchester, as they started to defend, started to grow a little bit into the game. Jimenez doing a good job at just pushing it by Jones Riley, forcing a nice save from Hunter Morris.
Well, this save set up a corner, and then Connor McGlynn a free header to open the scoring.
Yeah, really well done from Connor McGlynn, just showing off a little bit of strength. It seems like he is fending off Gonzalez over his left shoulder and just simply redirected, but Hunter Morris needs to do a better job there. Stepping off of his 6-yard box, pushing this ball away, and he goes for bats and worse for Portland. Josh Drack gets caught. Jennings drives at him, and Connor McGlynn says, "Thank you very much. I'll take my brace." 2-0 for Westchester.
A brace in the first half for Connor McGlynn, and they lead 2-0 at halftime despite pretty much every statistical category favoring the Hearts at the moment.
If you are Bobby Murphy, you have to win the first 10 to 15 minutes coming out of the break. You need to try to put more pressure on this back line of Westchester and just challenge your players to make plays, because it's too methodical when getting higher up the field.
At the moment, this result would cause a major shakeup in the league table. Both teams below the playoff line, but Westchester would leapfrog Portland and move just 3 points south of the top 8. The Hearts are desperate to rectify that. in the final 45 minutes. Just about ready to get everything back underway. Westchester from right to left, Portland from left to right. And we get the referee signal. Sam Goldfarb alongside the former League One standout Ricky Lopez-Espin. If you are Portland, plenty of work to be done, especially against a Westchester side that almost certainly will be sitting deep.
You need a little bit more of an enthusiasm going forward for Portland Hearts to find the relationship between Gonzalez and Kamara going to be crucial to find success and claw yourself back.
Westchester looking to press the issue early on. Here's Armas, plays it wide to Jennings, loses it out of play there. No changes for either side at intermission, so Bobby Murphy content to rock with the team he has. You have to wonder what the tone of the team talk was at halftime, because you look at all the advanced numbers, 42-18 in final third entries, 16-8 in box touches, but yet it felt like they weren't incisive enough.
It's going to be consistent to what we've seen over the last couple games here for Portland. Right, chance creation not an issue for this side. Do a really good job at getting themselves higher up the field into that final third, but just having that last bit of quality and composure to really put teams away has been the thorn in the side for this Portland side, giving Westchester a little bit of life.
Westchester will seek Miguel Diaz. Josh Drack wins that battle. It's a Westchester squad that has been better with the lead this season. We mentioned that stat that was so often cited a year ago, in which they dropped the most points from winning positions in league history a year ago. They've rectified that so far. Have had some problems on occasion, but usually when they go in front, especially at home, they've been pretty good about seeing the result out. Jimenez challenges Jones-Riley and has a hit. Morse parries it away, falls to Kyle Evans, who ultimately loses it out of play.
We're seeing Jimenez playing this left-hand side, and he is a right footer, so he always wants to try to challenge into the interior. Unable to pick out that far corner, not convincing whatsoever again from Hunter Morse, commanding his 6-yard box.
Portland will look long for Abubakar Kamara. This time Timchenko is there. On the subject of protecting leads, we have seen moments where they have struggled, of course, against Charlotte Independence. Early in the season, they led 1-0 and conceded at the death. And also, we had the Fort Wayne match where they led and conceded. But in the Greenville match, they did well to kill the game off. And that was a killer instinct that so often it felt like they lacked a year ago. Right now, they've doubled the advantage. The question is if they can see it over the line. This long throw comes in. Falls to Poon Angeron at the edge of the area, who's grown into an important piece in this midfield in the wake of Mikey Lopez's injury absence. Jones-Riley, JT Kamara challenges Jimenez. Kid on the turn, flashes it off, still loose. Appeals for handball waved away. Keep in mind, no VAR in USL Championship or League One, so all decisions on the field are final. Evans races onto this and gets in behind. Kyle Evans is through. One touch too many. May have been shoved to the deck, but I think he made a mess of it before that anyways. The other direction, Abubakar Kamara strolls forward. And this is Ollie Wright, who's at his best when it's open. Across to JT Kamara. Slows up a touch for Portland here. Kidd. Wright. Takes a touch out of play, and it will be a Portland corner.
Good heads-up play from Westchester, but if you are Evans, you need to strike this ball a lot earlier. The ball's out of your body, just step into it. There's nothing in that whatsoever. As George Shokai having a conversation with the fourth official, just pleading for a pen, but you need to be more aggressive there if you are Evans. Glorious opportunity to get the third.
It's squandered for now. JT Kamara, that fell kindly. Just dragged it across the face, and it knuckled the wrong way.
And it's a right idea from JT Kamara here. Gets afforded a gift to the ball. It just falls kindly into his path, just trying to open up his hips and simply pass it towards that far post. Unable to get it on target, but good start here for Portland.
This has grown chaotic in a hurry. Ever since the McGlynn opener, things started to pop off thick and fast. Dickerson may have mistimed this, but does well enough to head it back to Marinelli. Jennings. George Jokai has raved about his tenacity, a high character individual that of course won the penalty. This stoppage gives us a chance to let you know that soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek. Your ticket to great seats. There's not a bad seat in the house here at the stadium at Memorial Field, a historic venue that's roots date back to the 1930s. It was the site of the famous Mean Joe Green Coca-Cola commercial. Didn't know that Westchester County was a hotbed for filming ads, but I guess back then it was.
You learn something every day.
Trivia is an interesting engagement at times.
You're an avid trivia going, right?
A little bit,
Yeah.
a little bit. Wouldn't say I'm good at it, but I learned some things. Here's Kamara to Abubakar Kamara. Take the sting out of that chance. Now Diaz. He sprints at the defense. Doesn't have any support though. And will wait for reinforcements. Evans. Had the big chance moments ago to effectively kill the game off. You wonder how costly that will prove to be.
Just notice right now, no real reference point for Westchester. No one playing as a true #9 and to occupy the center backs for Portland.
It is interesting. They do have 2 true 9s on the roster, Daniel Burko and Quinn Blumstein, but neither has gotten the nod tonight for the 2nd consecutive fixture.
And if you are going to play with a false 9 and they are going to drop a little bit deeper, you need vertical runs coming elsewhere, whether it is centrally, whether it is from the wide parts of the field.
Evans providing that then, and he has won a corner. It is Alexi Armas to take the first corner kick for Westchester, presented by Ice Air, keeping Westchester cool and comfortable. First corner of the second half, we should say. Connor McGlynn, of course, causing plenty of trouble on one of their first corners in the first half. In-swinger from Armas this time, and it's overhead. All the way to Jennings at the back stick. He manages to keep a hold of this. Jimenez in plenty of space, and he picks out the bottom corner. It is 3 for Westchester, and they have taken their chances brilliantly.
He's been really active, Jonathan Jimenez has. Whether it is attacking from the left side, this time the opposite side of the field. I love the first touch out of his body. That sets him up for success because it allows him just to step into it, but also to generate power to strike this ball low and hard towards that far post. Really good goal from a player that's having a bright game to triple the lead here for Westchester right after coming out of the locker room.
What a display of clinical finishing from Westchester Soccer Club tonight. And Jonathan Jimenez adds to that ledger. His 2nd league goal of the campaign. Missed a few opportunities to add his name to the score sheet on Sunday. He does not miss that opportunity there.
It's everything that comes with the luxury of having a clean first touch from Jimenez. A really high IQ goal. Just the quickness he gets this shot off, the technique. Well done.
And there will be plenty of soul searching left for Portland to do if this finishes the way it looks like it's going, because Bobby Murphy has spoken about the lack of attention to minute details, and unfortunately, it feels like those have undone them yet again here. Kamali Green facing the pressure of Jimenez. Aloni from Hartford Athletic.
Great
Bounced
touch.
in and out of the lineup a year ago. Yes, it was. JT Kamara the other way for Portland. Can they find an avenue back, perhaps? Gonzalez. Right. With Drac as an option. To Kamara. First time ball to Gonzalez. Just wide. It's better, though.
And you play quick and you play 1-2 touch and keep the game simple. There's just so much talent in the attack for Portland. Gonzalez doing a good job making that run, just unable to wrap his right foot around the ball to change the angle back across.
Well, fans, Westchester Soccer Club is excited to partner with Redefine Meals, our go-to destination for fresh, healthy, prepared meals. Scan the QR code on the screen for a free meal at Redefine Meals in Hartsdale. For those that have just flipped the game back on, you may be surprised to see the scoreline. Westchester leads 3-0 against Portland. A pair of goals from Connor McGlynn in the first half, and then Jonathan Jimenez moments ago after the ball fell for him at the edge of the penalty area, just rolling it into the bottom left, and Hunter Moore said no chance. The Hearts, a squad that came into the year with such high aspirations, missing a huge chance to neutralize the gap between themselves and the playoff cut line as things stand. McGlynn looks in behind, and this is Evans, and there may be more carnage at play. Waits for support now. Armas, Jimenez, the most recent goal scorer. Noah Powder. McGlynn lets it run for Diaz! Right at Morse.
Starting to really find their rhythm. Westchester really unselfish, keeping the ball moving. Diaz trying to get involved straight at Hunter Morse. If you are George Okai, you need to be really pleased with what you've seen from your side over the course of an hour here.
Diaz himself has been especially bright over the course of this 3-match and 9-day run. Someone who's shown his ability on the counter and now popping up out of the normal run of play. Abubakar Kamara in behind, but too many blue shirts in the midst. Jaden Jones-Riley. JT Kamara. Dances inside. There's no one there. And a striped kit to greet it. Kidd. Very familiar with Bobby Murphy from his time with St. Louis City, too. Kamara. Punanjaran's cross. Far too tight on Marinelli. Powder. Diaz occupying space centrally now. Sends Jennings in behind with plenty of space. Jennings cross in, falls for Kyle Evans, who may have been offside. Fans, don't miss your chance to be part of the action when Westchester hosts Boise at 7 p.m. on Sunday, July 5th. Tickets are on sale now. Approaching the hour mark, Westchester 3-0 to the good. JT Kamara picks out Abubakar Kamara. Was forced to wide that time. Punanjaran is playing against his Trinidad and Tobago international teammate Noah Powder tonight. Jones-Riley trying to provide support on the overlap, but the ball not good enough.
And a lot of times when Portland is getting into the attacking third, they're becoming far too narrow. players are starting to become a little bit frustrated, so they start to go searching. Ollie Wright's trying to search the game, so he becomes almost as a double number 9. That doesn't allow the width to open up space. It's been a big test in discipline for players start to set in.
Evans. If you are Ollie Wright, or Bobby Murphy for that matter, are you telling Ollie Wright to begin further wide, or how are you addressing this?
Yeah, you always have to start wide, right? Because in doing that, now it puts pressure on Jennings, right? The outside back has to make a decision. Is he going to stay compact with his back line, or is he going to provide the coverage and go 1v1 with Ollie Wright? So it keeps the game simple, but also it opens up spaces centrally so players like Gonzalez, like Kamara can really operate in. Because when you become just so narrow, everything is in front of Westchester and makes that back line's life that much easier because everything has just been in front of them.
That is the trap number 10s can fall into often, because they want to drift and find the game. Here's Wright looking to do that again. It's a loose pass. Evans. He's tenacious in his attempts to win it back, but that's a surefire yellow card, and he is the first man in the book. Not the finest challenge.
There's no real need to leave your feet here. If you are Evans, you come through the back of Mateo Kidd, get none of the ball, and I'll tell you what, he is lucky that he doesn't make clean contact with Mateo Kidd. Could have been a whole lot worse.
If that challenge is higher up on the shin, we may be having a different conversation. Right. Kamara. Squaring up with Dickerson. Does him for pace. This is JT Kamara. The assistance of Jimenez does the job. Now Evans. We saw Westchester suffer for large spells 3-0 up in the second half against Greenville, and that was a 10-man Greenville. Maybe a similar recipe here if they hope to see this out. Armas. Jimenez, the most recent goal scorer for Westchester, who pings it long for Diaz. Offside flag stays down. This is McGlynn, who's on a hat trick. Diaz cuts inside, right at Morse.
Just so much time and space for Connor McGlynn to pick up this second ball. Mateo Kidd, Punandron, if the ball gets by, your job is not done. You have to drop deeper and eliminate that space. Good action from Diaz, really quick to get his shot off, but unable to really pick out that corner. And in the end, an easy save for Hunter Morse.
George Chokai said he made an intentional decision against Fort Wayne to deploy McGlynn further forward because of his ability to pick out the right pass. You give him that much time and space, that's when he can hurt you.
And so many times when teams start to play direct, that's not the initial ball that causes issues, it's the secondary wave of attack. And winning those second and loose balls centrally.
Here is McGlynn again. It's just a metronome. Playing so many different roles in midfield. Saw on the touchline moments ago as well. It appears Bobby Pierre and Daniel Burko are warming up. So that suggests maybe a shift to be more direct, especially with Burko, a proper 9 approaching things. Here's McGlynn. Powder. Diaz. There's a clear shift in shape now for Westchester. A proper 3-back. See Jimenez and Jennings ranging forward as makeshift wingbacks at the moment. Also allows them to park 5 behind it. Without the ball. Armas. Evans. This time Punanjaran there to break it up. Kidd. Right. Frustrating night for him thus far. Has Drac to his left and uses him. Punanjaran continues his run. Evans is there doing his defensive work. Evans. Right, looking for Abubakar Kamara. There's just no way through at the moment. And those changes will take place. So it's Dickerson and Evans off for Bobby Pierre and Daniel Burko. Both relatively like-for-like changes, and now there is a true 9 on the pitch for Westchester.
It's going to change the way that Westchester does look going forward. Evans more mobility than Burko, but Burko, big body, he's going to stay high. He's going to be that reference point to play into. Some movement, whether it is ahead of him or underneath him, will give Westchester the ability to find the fourth. Pierre and Dickerson will be like for like on this back line.
So Pierre comes in as a makeshift outside center back, left back hybrid. George Jokai mentioning that when they were in a 4-back, indisputably, he made the decision to play Bobby Pierre at left back the last few weeks because he offers a little more going forward, more of that engine, whereas Dickerson stays at home. Here's Jimenez, who has ranged forward all night. Has McGlynn with him. McGlynn again. Diaz.
Tempo certainly dropped from a Portland's point of view. You can see Kamara and Ali Wright just trying to inject a little bit of energy here in terms of their pressing.
Do you think it's tired legs or just demoralized by the scoreline?
A little bit of both. But if you are Bobby Murphy, you have to look at players to show you something. Right? These are the types of games that the scoreline is what it is, difficult place to play, maybe a difficult pitch to really find your rhythm, but someone that can lead by example and shoulder some of the responsibility and show what it means to play for Portland Hearts of Pine.
They do have some sources of inspiration on the bench. Konstantinos Georgilidis has flash moments off the bench. Tyler Huck as well. A lot of their personnel, though, concentrated in the midfield more than anything. Maybe you bring on a Diogo Barbosa with the hopes of intensifying your ball winning even. JT Kamara. Ali Wright. Ticking towards the final 20, and it is Westchester in comprehensive control. Pass seems rather indicative of the way things have gone tonight for Portland, but it gives us a chance to let you know that if you can't watch the match, you can turn on Sirius XMFC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights, plus hear live matches from the USL MLS Premier League and more, all on Sirius XMFC 157 and Sirius XM app. Jennings in a touch of discomfort at the moment. go direct towards Daniel Burko here. So changes now, and it is a quadruple swap for Portland. It's Diogo Barbosa, Konstantinos Georgilides, Tyler Huck, and what appears to be Mo Mohammed as well. Quadruple swap. We gave you the 4 that are coming in. Diogo Barbosa, 30-year-old who's played across European football, has been a regular reserve in midfield. It seems he's replaced Diego Gonzalez. Hasn't quite been able to replicate the heroics of his debut on Saturday. Burko can't chest this along. Here's the cross in from Burko, hunting Jimenez. So quadruple change, Jones, Riley, Kidd, Gonzalez, and Kamara, JT Kamara that is, are all off. Mohamed, Huck, Konstantinos Georgilides, and Diogo Barbosa in. And Bobby Murphy is truly testing the limits of his bench. Now, so one of those is like for like at right back, and you figure part of that probably is a minutes restriction for Jones Riley.
Yeah, Huck is going to push a little bit higher next to Georgilides, and he's going to play almost as seems to be 3 up top when you have Punandra and Barbosa sitting centrally. A little bit of a change of formation maybe here for Portland Hearts of Pine.
McGlynn looks in behind for Burko. The cross for Diaz. It is a 4th for Westchester. They've proven to be a buzzsaw of late. 4-0 for the 2nd straight week.
Really well worked goal here for Westchester. First, it's the pick out for Burko. Notice a little peek over his left shoulder right there. As he draws in Green, that allows Diaz to just hold his ground because he understands the back line of Portland is retreating. The space is on the cutback, but this is individual brilliance. Clean first touch to turn, but also the body position and the body control to come back across his body. Well done. 4-0 for Westchester here at home.
Miguel Diaz opened his professional account on Sunday. He adds a 2nd to his ledger 5 nights later and starting to become a crucial piece in this Westchester side. Westchester 4, Portland Hearts of Pine 0. And Westchester fans that are reading that scoreline and have their jaw on the floor, you are not dreaming. That is the reality. They are in line for back-to-back 4-0 victories. Greenville, of course, struggling themselves. Portland has gone through their ups and downs, but this is a Portland squad that on paper, incredibly talented. Talking to George Jokai during their 2 months of struggle in the league, he said, I am confident that I have the personnel to still compete in this league. It's just about clamping down on those individual miscues in both boxes. They've done that the last 2 weeks, and look at the results.
Well, the foundation has been definitely their defensive efforts. Obviously, through that first 45 minutes, not a lot of the ball, but when they did get going forward, they were just so ruthless, which gave them a foundation and confidence to go and attack games, as we see 2 subs coming in for Westchester.
So a double swap, Miguel Diaz, the goal scorer, and Noah Powder vacate. Kuhn Blumstein and Ermin Makic replace them. It's become a party-like atmosphere at Memorial Field. And as we enter the final 15 minutes, the result is anything but in doubt. George Jokai's men have turned a corner, and turned a corner in a hurry. At one point, sat close to the cellar of USL League One. They will end the night just 3 points south of the playoff line. And as we say, life can change quickly in the USL ranks. Portland looking for a bit of consolation. That cross falls comfortably to Luca Marinelli. Jimenez. Pierre racing forward. Fans, the best way to spend a Friday or Saturday night is watching your local team with your favorite people. Check out Westchester SC's group ticket offerings, especially if you haven't experienced the new VIP area. I think now is as good a time as ever to advertise Westchester Soccer Club tickets, because they have put together two of their best performances of the season in rapid succession here. Suddenly have inserted themselves into the playoff conversation in USL League One. Still a long way to go. These two performances inspire real promise. Green to Josh Drack. This is Ollie Wright. First time ball to George Elides. This cross is deflected out for a throw. George Elides again. And he was offside. eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. Ricky, I know it is just 2 wins on the trot, and in the grand scheme of things, that doesn't sound like that much. But what does back-to-back victories in this manner do for someone's confidence as a player?
Everything. As a player, as a collective, it's a proof of concept for George Okai and his staff as well, saying if we continue to trust in the process and continue to take care of the little things in both boxes, we do have the talent. What's been impressed me the most, obviously job not done yet here.
Wright is pushing on, and there is a chance for Portland. It's denied. The second effort skewed wide by Barbosa.
It's a really good save for Marinelli to push it wide. Difficult technique for Barbosa on the follow-up. You see frustration starting to set in for Abubakar Kamara. Does well. First touch clean, second touch trying to find that far post. Just pulls it a little bit wide, Barbosa, but it's going to give this side momentum. Understanding that not only can you score goals, but also defensively get what seems to be almost back-to-back clean sheets against two teams that, yes, might be struggling, but they do have experience and talent on either roster with Greenville and Portland.
Right. Portland is just searching to get on the board now. Huck, Wright, Abubakar Kamara for Diogo Barbosa. There's an intervention there from Alexei Armas. Wright's ball forward. It's an appetizing one. Kamara on the turn. Falls for Barbosa. Pierre there with the block. Burko. Now Westchester breaking lines. Armas pings it forward to Burko. Has Blumstein in support. Makic. Blumstein forced wider than he'd hope and isn't able to get there. Well, fans, the USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to uslchampionship.com or uslleague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. Daniel Baumann is slow to return to his feet. Big shift as a outside center back for large spells, and he's making the signal that he needs a change. It's a jam-packed slate of fixtures for Westchester. 5 days between Greenville and tonight, and then another 5 days between this and a trip to Spokane, which will be a monstrous litmus test in regards to their hopes of contending for a playoff berth. Baumann is still getting attention from the physios, and Samori Powder may replace him. Well, it's Powder who actually replaces Max Jennings, but we'll see if that remains the case, because Baumann just made the signal that he needs to come off. And instead, it is Baumann who will exit, so Max Jennings gets to continue playing for now. So Samori Powder, the younger brother of Noah Powder, is on the pitch. Noah Powder and Samori Powder were just the second pair of brothers to link up on a goal. It came against Richmond Kickers in early May of last year. That wound up being a 4-4 draw, so fun fixture that. For Portland, this is the most goals they've conceded all season in a match. If you are Bobby Murphy, what does a post-match team talk look like after a match like this?
After having numerous of conversations with Bobby Murphy, he's say just no need here for Jimenez. Yeah, deserving of a yellow card here.
He may get one.
As Mohamed's already down, no need to just to kick the ball into him. A little bit silly to pick up a yellow card in that fashion.
It is Jimenez in the book.
Just going back to that point about Bobby Murphy, having the conversation with him numerous of times over the course of the seasons. He seems very measured, but also really passionate and intense. Finding has a really good balance of being relatable, but also keeping the standard and challenging his players. You have to think that after a performance like this on the road, you have to get into your players and you need a reaction. You either go and do it vocally or just let the players sit in silence and have them be the people that really dictate the conversation within the locker room.
Said to us before this that the number one point of importance is you can't panic in moments like these, because if you panic and overchange, the players will notice that. And he's someone who believes in his vision. I think there's proof to that belief,
100%.
Especially last season. So we'll see how they respond.
I mean, just look at the performance here. Through the 83 minutes that we've played, the first half they dominated. They were creating opportunities, and again, it goes down to those fine margins, those little details. You do not take care of business higher up the field. You leave the door slightly open. And with a team in Westchester that has shown how effective they can be in back-to-back games in front of goals, it's a recipe for disaster if you are Portland. Quickly got out of hand here.
The important thing to note is they have a chance to bounce back, because in 5 days' time, back at home in what might be the best home pitch advantage in the league, and they host Richmond, a side that's with an interim head coach and has been through their ups and downs. So that is an opportunity on paper to get back in the win column. And they travel to Naples in early July, which is always a tough place to play, but it's not like Naples has strung together results with regularity of late. So we'll see how everything comes to fruition. Here's Burko, carves out space. This is just wide. Drac. Can Portland at least provide a source of optimism at the end of this? Powder. Makic. Jimenez. Terrific link up. Makic with a pop. Nearly picked out the top corner there.
Good strike from Makic. Not the best of first touch, as it is a little bit behind him, so he has to reach. And unable to set his feet as cleanly as he would like, but hits it well. Always bending away from Hunter Morris in that top corner.
scored a goal that looked similar to that in the Prinks Tires USL Cup defeat against New York Cosmos. That, of course, what they're calling the GWB Bridge Derby now. That was a goal that gave Westchester the lead before they wound up surrendering 2 in the final 10 minutes to lose in somewhat heartbreaking fashion. McGlynn still on that hat trick, instead lays it off. Not as troublesome for Makic there. Final 5 minutes, and it seems like a rather academic period of time now. The result has been clear for a good 30 minutes or so at this point. Makic looks forward for Blumstein, right at Morse there. Drag. Barbosa. It's made an impact in the final third since entering. Punanjaran. Armas. Blumstein. Pinged ahead to Burko. Mohammed gets in the way. It's right to Blumstein. Burko gets back on side. Burko hunting a 5th for Westchester. Deflected away.
Burko's been really active since coming onto this field. The work rate with this last action specifically did a really good job at getting himself back on side, and really soft feet for the big man.
Another yellow card has been brandished in the midst of all of that. Jimenez. Yellow card was given to Giogo Barbosa. And at this point, maybe a sign of frustration?
100%.
McGlynn switches it well. Jimenez already has a goal to his name. McGlynn rushing forward. Jimenez in pursuit of a second, and he has one. Westchester flying. It's 5-0.
Has one thing on his mind, Jonathan Jimenez, when he receives this ball, is just to drive, but the patience and the unselfishness of the runs off of him. Makic, McGlynn, Blumstein, pull defender, so that opens up that space centrally. And again, a really good finish for Jimenez to just strike it with power, but notice how he keeps his shoulders over the ball to find this near post. 5-0, Westchester.
He may have broken the corner flag in the process.
Is he getting a fine for that?
I wouldn't encourage...
That's an interesting question.
I wouldn't encourage anyone to do that to him. The fans are enjoying everything they're seeing. It's a brace for Jimenez. He entered the night with 1 league goal. He's tripled that tally in 1 half of football. He's a native of Norwalk, Connecticut, not far from Westchester County in the southern part of the state. He's on loan from Hartford Athletic, and he's proven to be quite the investment, at least tonight for Westchester. Marinelli is fouled. If this holds, it would be the largest victory in Westchester Soccer Club's history. They matched it with a 5-1 triumph against Corpus Christi on April 4th. They would surpass that with a 5-0 drubbing tonight. I think of all the things we would have expected after watching even the first 30 minutes when Portland went down a goal. We would not have expected this. Burko. Can Ollie Wright add a layer of consolation? Falls here for Kamara, curls it goalward, but right at Marinelli. Four minutes of stoppage time presented by Mar & Mar. That is what separates Westchester from their largest victory in club history. You have to feel for Portland, especially with the way they controlled things in the opening 30 minutes and change. But football can be a cruel game, and this is the prime example.
And we've seen it not only in this game, but numerous of games over the course of the League One season. You leave the door slightly open, teams the ability to claw themselves back into this game and take the momentum. It's exactly what we saw here with Westchester. Score one goal, the floodgates start to open, while Portland did a lot of the work in that first 45 minutes with the possession and chance creation, just not ruthless enough in the final third.
Pierre. It's given away, but it hit a Portland player's hand. The budding chance is lost. So as we mentioned, Westchester in 5 days' time traveled to Spokane. That, as we've also highlighted, could be a major test as to where they fall in the League One hierarchy. They've been through their prolonged winless run, and they've come out of it in an emphatic fashion now. And they are greeted with a huge road test. Meanwhile, for Portland, back home against Richmond, that feels like a must-win ahead of the weekend. Burko. Cuts inside. Powder. Midway through the added 4 minutes, and Westchester still hunting more. McGlynn still sits on that hat trick. It's the most goals Portland have conceded in a league match in club history. It also would be their largest margin of defeat in league play if this holds. Right. Abubakar Kamara turns, and he does put it in. There is late consolation for the Hearts. And Abubakar Kamara on the score sheet.
Been working extremely hard, Kamara off the ball. The movement, the strength shown in this goal, really well done. To fend off, Pierre create a little bit of separation, and notice how quickly he gets his hips wrapped around this ball. The strength here, good first touch, hips closed, and just beats Marinelli to that near post. It's a true goal scorer's goal for Kamara there.
He's gotten himself into some really good positions tonight. It felt like his performance merited a goal. He now makes it a third league goal on the campaign for himself, the 24-year-old rookie out of Penn State. So maybe a slight layer of annoyance for George Jokai, but the way Portland has performed, this scoreline would be very harsh on them. Samori Powder. We'll go towards the corner flag and look to see this out. And it will be one final corner before the night is done. Brought to you by Ice Air, keeping Westchester cool and comfortable. The margin of victory at the moment is cool and comfortable. There is the full-time whistle. It is one of the brightest nights in Westchester Soccer Club's young history. They dominate Portland 5-1.
Phenomenal performance for Westchester in both boxes. Defensively, you were very compact, you were really stout. Scored not one, but 5 good team goals. This performance and this result's going to give this side a ton of confidence as we continue on in the League One season.
They slashed the gap between themselves and the playoff line to just 3 points. George Jokai said, "We just need to string a few results together over these next 9 days." They took 7 points from an available 9, and they find themselves right back in the conversation in USL League One. Well, that is where we finish. We will step aside briefly. When we return, a look back at an absolute drubbing in Westchester County. Westchester wins 5-1. We'll be right back from Westchester.
Eligible for Medicare? Here's a great new reason to be happy. You may qualify for money-saving programs that could lower your Medicare costs. Just talk to a Health First specialist about programs like Extra Help, Epic, and more. To learn how New Yorkers like you can save, call 1-844-434-6399. Health First Medicare Advantage Plans, where healthy starts.
Come on, get happy.
Raising health means elevating the care that we can get in our backyard. The Westchester Soccer Club is part of the United Soccer League that has now expanded into Westchester.
It's a brand new USL One team competing all across the country, bringing the love for the sport of soccer to the area.
Northwell is going to provide them the best care possible, going to the games, making sure that we're on site for each home game. If an injury pops up, we get those players in immediately.
The partnership between the Westchester Soccer Club and Northwell Health is very exciting.
Northwell's vision is to raise health. So we offer the full gamut of orthopedic services, serving the community in Westchester. That's where my family lives, that's where I live, and that's my purpose here.
Welcome back to Memorial Field, where Westchester has dominated Portland Hearts of Pine. A first ever victory over the Hearts, and they do it in style. Let's take a look back at how the 90 minutes transpired. Ricky, Portland on the front foot, but they paid the price on the break numerous times.
That starts with Westchester able to weather the storm, and you go through a set piece. Connor McGlynn, the leader, doing a good job at just fending off his individual marker. Notice how
That was the only moment to cheer about for Portland on a night where otherwise it was rather frustrating. You look at these full-time stats, actually even in shots, but Westchester just far more clinical.
also, you just look at the possession for Portland. You need possession with a purpose, right? If you are Bobby Murphy, yes, you can dictate games, but you have to be able to kill off games, and that's the only way that you're going to do that in that final third. You need to be ruthless. You need a little bit more personality and more fight for Portland Hearts of Pine.
We'll see if they can provide that in the games to come. That is where everything finishes here from Westchester County. The Golden Apple matched their largest margin of victory in club history with a first ever win over Portland Hearts of Pine. For our terrific crew and my broadcast partner, Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm Sam Goldfarb, where we say so long from Westchester. It has finished 5-1 to the Golden Apple. Have a great rest of your night, everyone. From Westchester, signing off.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.